Hi, welcome to episode 66 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come over and join one of our knit-alongs. We have a lot of fun over there. There is a blog that I really should take care of better. I'm going to try. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I have a lot of things to show and talk about today. And as you can see, I'm in a very different spot. Today, I'm in my dining room area. You can see my kitchen behind me and the beautiful paintings my husband's great aunt made, which is very important and interesting to you, I'm sure. So let's get started. I am wearing my last finished sweater of the year 2016. It is called Short-Sleeved Cardigan with Ribbing. It's by Stephanie Chappell, and the pattern is in the book Fitted Knits that was published, I think, in 2007. So it's an older book, but I really like it, and I have not shown it on me. So here I am. I'm gonna stand up to show you because I am really, really happy with it. Don't you think it turned out great? I mean, I love it. It's nice and long, the sleeves are perfect, so yeah, that's done. Oops. And now let's get started. I'm gonna not look into the camera a lot today, I'm sure, because the computer is over there and the camera is here and it's irritating, but it was the only way to set it up, so yeah. Okay. I'm rambling already. Perfect. And I hope my camera will behave today because it's going to be a long one and I do not have the time to re-record, so it has to work. Finished objects, knitting in the past. I finished The Welted Slouch by Stephen West. The pattern is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and the yarn that I used was LB Art Yarn in her Sparkle Base. No idea if there is a special name for it. It's a one-of-a-kind colorway, and yeah, I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle. Yeah, you can a little bit. So this is the Welted Slouch. My problem with it, and yeah, you know, this is going to be awful because my hair is made. So it's not a slouch on me. It's a beanie. I did not want a beanie, so I'm not very happy with it. But my mom claimed it, so it's going to go to her for her birthday, which is good because that means I already have a birthday present. I used a US 4 3.5 millimeter needle as it's said in the pattern. Now let me try to make this mess look a little bit better. Oh, great. You know, my hair is always weird and awful, so let's just roll with it. Now, the next thing I made is a cardigan for my son. It's this little piece. Isn't it awesomely cute? I really love it. It's when I was looking through my stash for, well, I don't remember actually what I was looking for, but I was looking for something and I came across a pack of Stoppelwolle yarn that I bought at their company store. Is that a word? I don't know. I bought it there and it was super cheap because it had a ton of knots in it and the skeins were not as big as they should have been. And I bought it initially to knit a scarf for my husband way back when he wasn't even my husband. So this has been in my stash for at least 9 years. And now I used it up to knit a pattern from the book Boys Knits by Katia Frankel. I bought this when I was pregnant and I knew that it's gonna be a boy. So this is the pattern that I used. It's called Deckard. And I did not change a lot. I changed two things. There was initially planned a reverse stockinette stripe up the sleeve, which I didn't do. And as you could have, as you saw in the picture, there should have been a hood that I didn't do simply because I ran out of yarn. So I started the hood and knit, and I ran out and decided to just fold over what I had and sew it down so it's a nice thick and warm collar instead. And I really like it. It fits perfectly. He looks super adorable in it. There's a picture on Instagram. And I also want to show the page in my knitting journal, and I have to stand up because I have everything on my table. My table is quite big, so I have to reach. So this is the page in my knitting journal. Like I said, the pattern is called Deckard. The pieces of yarn that I put in, again, were the leftovers after weaving in ends because I used up every last bit of it. I cast it on the 25th, finished on the 26th because, you know, it's knit with a 6mm needle. That's a US 10 and it's tiny, so it's like, it's super quick. I made it for the Use Your Books cowl that I'm co-hosting with Sadie. The size is 2T. Now, American people, does that mean it's for a 2-year-old? Because that would make sense in my head. And if it is for a 2-year-old, why is it called 2T? Can you please explain that to me because I don't understand. Okay, now, this page, I wrote down the needles. I used Xiaogu interchangeables. And yes, I totally forgot how to write Xiaogu. I did no hood because I ran out of yarn. And that's the yarn that I used. Like I said, a ton of knots. A ton of knots. But I paid €3.60 for the complete yarn for this cardigan. And it's normally 15 euros a skein, and I used about 2 skeins that were in my pack. So that's awesome. What's not so awesome, I had to get a zipper, you know, because there's a zipper in here. The zipper cost twice as much as the yarn. Yeah, no. Why do zippers have to cost that much money? I mean, I understand they have to be good quality, but yeah. When she told me what this zipper was, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, here it is. What I did on this sweater for the very first time ever, I sewed in the zipper with my sewing machine. And it worked great. What I did, what you will be able to tell, it looks like this from the inside, and you can see those white nips here to stabilize the knitting, because, you know, that stretches and the zipper doesn't. And I didn't want it to be super wonky, so I used a piece of kitchen paper towel and just put my knitting and zipper on top of that and had that on the feed dogs. Is that the word? I think it is, on the sewing machine. So that would be the one that's going to be gripped and pulled. And it worked wonders. It's super quick, super easy. I had the zipper in 10 minutes and it's great. I'm so happy with this. I think it turned out amazing. It's so cute. Knitting these small things is such an amazing thing because they're done before you really get into them. So yeah, he can now wear it. He wore it already because he wanted to have it. And of course, when your kid wants the things you make for him, you give them to them. So I did. Okay, that's my second finished object of the week, and it's also the last one. Now for knitting in the present, I have 4 things that I'm currently working on. The first thing is a pair of socks for my husband. I'm doing Afterthought heel socks. This is the yarn. It's 3-use twisted in fiber. I have no idea where the ball band went, so I don't know what it's called, but it's 3-use twisted in fiber. That I know for sure. And I'm doing Afterthought heel socks. I don't normally fuss with them anymore, but you know, I wanted to try something different. Well, it's not something different. I wanted to change my sock knitting up a little bit. So I picked out the yarn for the first heel, and I wanted to knit the heel, but I totally forgot how many rounds I'm doing. And as I did write a pattern for an Afterthought heel with a very elaborate photo guide, I'm just gonna have to look at my own pattern to find out what I have to do. So these are for him. I want to finish them for Valentine's Day, which I totally will because, you know, I only need 2 heels. So that's going to be done super soon. I also wanted to show something. Now let me take that back in here. I have this little piece, and I actually have no idea what it is, but I use this and have my sock size, my husband's sock size, and all the important information for my normal style sock with a heel flap and gusset, and for the afterthought heel. So for the afterthought heel, my husband wears a German 45, which is I think a US 11. I cast on 72 stitches. No, let's do it like this. 72 stitches. I knit 18 centimeter for the leg. Then comes the scrap yarn for the afterthought heel. I knit another 17.5 centimeters for the foot, and the heel itself will be 7 centimeters square because it's almost a square when you knit it in, and the foot needs to be 29 centimeters in the end. That's almost 12 inches. And the same information for my sock. And like I said, on the other side, I just have the information for heel flap and gusset socks. Again, let's do it with my husband's sock. Here we are. 72 stitches, 18 centimeters of leg. The heel is 6 centimeters. It's a bit different. But the foot has to be 24.5 centimeters before I can start toe, and it's going to be 29 centimeters in the end. And this little piece is coming with me in my sock bag when I go places, because these are the two sizes I knit primarily, and I have all the information that I need on this little piece of whatever it is. And yeah, I've done this. I made this thing 8 years ago maybe, and it's been traveling with me around the world because, you know, it's super handy. It has the information that I need, and yeah, I wanted to show that. It's in this project bag that I bought as, I think, a cosmetics bag. I'm not sure, but I love it. I love the print. So it's perfect for socks. Okay, next, I started another sweater for my son. This time it's in one of my Knitting's My Bags. Knitting's My Bag bags. It was one of her Valentine's, of course, you can see that, Valentine's specials. And in here, I have the next sweater for my son, like I just said. I'm using a pattern by someone who's going by the name Hinterm Stein, which is not a name, you know, it means behind a rock. So this is the pattern. It's called Baby Commander. It's a German pattern only. And I actually only use this for the numbers of stitches that I needed. It's a paid-for pattern. It has a really interesting construction that I'm not doing. I might do it in the future for, you know, when someone else has a baby. But for my son, I, like I said, only used the numbers because this yarn is roughly a DK weight, and I didn't have a DK weight pattern. So this is what it looks like. It looks super wonky. I'm going to show you the back where you can see the actual colors. The colors do not come across as they are. To me, they really look like Sully and Mike from Monsters, Inc. It's the exact colors of those two. I have knit in pockets. I did those like the pattern says. So this looks weird right now, but you know, it will have pockets, and I am going to hopefully finish it this week. He's excited about it already. He wants to have it and wear it, but you know, not working right now with needles in it. So I'm using this yarn. I'm actually not sure if it is made anymore. It is Regia Kids. Now, lovely camera, please show how this yarn looks. Would be really nice. Okay, I'm not gonna bother. So, like I said, it's called Regia Kids. It's a polyester wool blend. So it's machine washable. This is what it looks like. And the brown that I'm going to use for all the ribbing that I'm going to make is Regia Softy. It's almost the same way it's made. So I don't really understand why they are two different things, you know. The Softy has 93%, no, not 93, 39% wool and 61% polyamide. And this one has 60% polyamide and 40% wool. And they both have 125 meters for 50 grams. So I actually don't get why they had to make something different for it being almost the same. But I'm not a yarn maker. I don't have to understand. I'm knitting this, yeah, on a US 4, no, a US 6, a 4mm needle, Sunstruck Interchangeables by Knit Pro. And it's super soft, super nice. I think he will really like it. And I hope that this one will turn out, I think it will turn out big enough to be worn next winter, in fall and winter this year. So I'm gonna put everything back in here. That's the second thing on my needles. I have one more that you've already seen, and it's the Find Your Fate shawl by Andrea Maury. I am using Socks to Rock Lightweight, and I have faded into my second color. Now, here it is. Someone said it looks like a uterus, and it totally does. So here it is. I'm not sure how to show it to you, but I am in my second color. I think the fading worked great. The first color was Scottish Highlands. I have it here. I still have it here. It's this color. And now I'm into Mesa. It's my color number 2. And yeah, so far I really like it. I think it's going to be very nice in the end. I hope it will be. So not sure what to say about it. You know, I'm working on it. It's coming along nice. So, and the last thing is something you have not seen before. And it is another sock yarn blanket that I started for my son in blue. And I'm this far in. Can you see this? Yes. So I am this far in. 8 squares, I think. And yeah, I like it. Of course I like it. It's a sock yarn blanket. They are super easy to knit. They are a lot of fun. And yeah, what I did for this one, mine, I started in the center and I'm knitting in spirals all the way around. For my son's, I started at the corner and I'm knitting from that corner to, you know, the other corner. Because this way I can decide how big I want it to be. And I already know that I want it to be adult sized because, you know, he's tiny now, but he won't be in 10 years. So, and this is something that will hold up forever. So I'm going to make it big so he can wear it. And what I also am changing for his blanket, for mine, I'm using yarns only once. I want every yarn to be in there only one time. For his blanket, I don't care. You know, I have enough left of this yarn for a second square. I will knit a second square, just, you know, not right next to that. So I'm also knitting these squares with 60 stitches. That makes them a little bit bigger. I love it. It's amazing. It's a sock yarn blanket. I mean, they are addicting. And I'm knitting it with a US 3, a 3.25mm needle because I want it to be nice and soft. So now let's see if this still works. Looks like it does. Great. Knitting in the future. I have 2 things planned that I really want to cast on as soon as possible. And they are behind the camera, which is a great idea, you know. They are in these 2 project bags. Because yeah, I love super heroes. Now the first thing is a pair of socks out of Opal sock yarn because I again was looking for something and I saw these right next to each other in my Opal sock yarn bin. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but the purple skein has the exact same shade of blue in it than the blue skein is. So I decided to make not Dobby and Winky socks, but I'm going to knit a pair of socks out of this and use this for contrast cuffs, heels, and toes. Just because they go together so great. The project bag I'm going to use for this is this awesome Batman bag that I got from my friend Lori for Christmas. So that's the first thing I want to cast on. And the other thing, in my gigantic box bag by, I think a needle runs through it, but I will check if it's written inside. It's a women's superhero bag. You know, there's Supergirl, Batgirl, and Wonder Woman. Here she is. So in here, I have a sweater plan. I have 10 skeins of this yarn, which is Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the Blue Blood colorway. And I love this. And if you are, like me, a European that's not living in the UK, there is a shop called Great British Yarns, and they carry Knit Picks yarn, so you can order from them. That's how I got that yarn. And I am going to knit the Carey Town sweater by Annie Lupton. And it looks like this. I fell in love with it when she first showed her progress on Instagram, and I really had to have it. So I bought it right when it came out. And yeah, I'm going to knit it with this yarn, and the bag is by A Needle Runs Through It. I actually don't know if she's still in business, but you can always find that out. So yeah, these are the two things that I have planned to start as soon as the socks and the baby cardigan are done, because I kind of want to not have that many things going at once, which is ridiculous considering how many things I have still on the needles somewhere in my house. And now I need a sip. I'm sorry. I know it's distracting, but when you talk that much, you just need to drink. Good. Now that's it for knitting. On to spinning. I finished another skein of yarn. It's this one. I showed it last week, I think. I showed one of the bobbins. It is by Three Waters Farm. It's a Merino Tussa Silk blend. The colorway is Dime Store Novel. Yeah, here we are. It's not super consistent. I still like it a lot. I got the fiber as a gift from my friend Debbie, and I'm going to knit myself a pair of mittens out of this, and I'm going to use the World's Simplest Mitten pattern by Tin Can Knits that I used for my son's mittens. And here is the yarn or fiber label that I'm going to put back on the skein of yarn as a yarn label. I got, as you can see, 211 meters, which equals 231 yards, and it's 111 grams. So it's a worsted weight. And I love it. Come on, focus for me. There we go. I really like it. It turned out great, and it was amazing to spin. I spun this on my Louette S45, and I plied it on the Bliss because my sidekick's still broken, which makes me very sad. I have to fill out some form they sent me. So yeah, this is not how it's going to be. I'm going to really wrap it around like a normal ball band and tape it together so I know what it is. So that's it for spinning. I have not started something new after I finish this yet, so I hope that will happen sometime this week. Now, new stuff. I have a lot of new stuff because it was my birthday last week. I'm now 33 years old and I feel amazing. So first of all, I have a packet of mini skeins. They were not a gift. well, they were a gift, but they were not really for my birthday. This is the Swapless Swap pack that you would have received if you joined the Swapless Swap that Lisa hosted in our group or in my podcast group. And it was for Aloha Blue, which I really wanted to try out for a few years now. So I'm really happy that this was how it worked out. And yeah, there are 10 different mini skeins. They will go into my blanket, except for this one, because this one will go in my son's blanket because it's super blue and super pretty. So I received that. Now, I also received a Christmas gift slash thank you for spinning a sweater quantity for me from my friend. I have started spinning and I showed it before. So this is one of the bags she made for me. It's a box bag out of corduroy and with a orange lining. It's beautiful. I'm gonna use it for socks, of course, because it's a perfect size for socks. She also sent me one of her remaining Halloween gift bags that she had for friends because I said I wanted one. It's one of her signature bags with the crooked zipper, and it looks like this on the inside. And I now have 3 of those bags, and I love them. And she did send me, as a thank you for spinning, a skein of Wollmeise lace in the Brombeere colorway. And if you've never had a skein of Wollmeise lace, like me, it's my first skein of Wollmeise lace. This has a 1,722 yards for 300 grams. And my skein is actually 330 grams, which means I have close to 2,000 yards in here. And I am going to knit a cardigan for myself because it's gorgeous. And the Wollmeise lace is not super thin like some other lace stuff is. It's more like a light fingering weight yarn. So I really look forward to using this and all my beautiful bags. So thank you again, Martina. I really like those things. Now, on to Christmas. No, not Christmas. Birthday gifts. I decided to show, of course, only the fiber-related stuff because everything else will bore you to death. And I'm going to start out with a charm pack from Alison Glass fabric. It's super nice, super pretty. It's like a rainbow of color, and I really like Alison Glass prints, so I'm gonna make something for myself with this. Then my friend Ushi made this box for me. Can you believe this? I'm sure I will never be able to figure out how to make something like that. It opens up, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be a box. There's a pin cushion at the top, and you know, it opens up. I'm very, very, I don't know the word. I don't know the word. She put in some wonder clips because you always use these for sewing, and she didn't know it, but she put in some of my absolute favorite candy. I love that stuff. So that's one thing, and it's a beautiful thing. Then my friend Sandra dyed a skein of yarn for me, and you might recall I already have 2 skeins of this colorway, so now I have 3, and I am considering doing a cardigan, which would be different for me, or doing a large shawl. I'm not sure, but this is what I got from her. My friend Leanne from the US sent me this amazing skein of yarn with a topper for knitting a hat for my son. Isn't this adorable? I've never seen anything like this in Germany, so I really look forward to it. And Tim already played with the skein of yarn, so I had to rescue it. Yeah, I'm gonna make this very soon. I'm gonna show this in Favorite Geekery next week. My sister went to my Amazon wish list, which is always great, and got me a quilting ruler. Is it called quilting ruler? Quilter for a foot holder? No, I'm not sure. I'm sure that's not the word. But you know, it's to help you make parallel lines in quilting, and a quilting ruler, like a real ruler. My friend Petra gave me this sweet little notions pouch. And she also, now let's keep things together here. She knit me a pair of socks, and I did not bring my sock blockers because I didn't think about it, but it has this really nice leaf pattern. Colors, of course, are absolutely me because I'm the autumn girl. She spun a skein of yarn for me again. Do you sense a theme here? Very much my colors. It's beautiful. And she also, when she went to the Wollmeise sale, she bought a skein of yarn for me. I love the colors, but it's a colorway that's basically not named after me, but it's called my name. It's called Resi, which is the German version for Tracy. And, you know, that's what people call me around here. Everyone calls me that. So the skein of yarn has my name, so she had to get it for me. And I really love the colors. I think it's a beautiful skein of dark brown, dark gray. It's perfect. I love it. And there's one gift left that I want to show, but I'm going to put everything back in here because that's just a little bit too much in front of me. Okay, now that's gone. I also got a pair of socks from my mom. She knit those for me because she knows how much I love receiving socks. And she managed to make them super, super matchy-matchy. Can you see how perfect they are? Yeah, I never get them to perfect, but yes, that's it for my fibery and knitty gifts. I also got a weekend away from my friend, the Stitchinista. We're gonna go to Milano for a fabric shopping trip sometime this year. And I really look forward to it, but I have to save money for it, of course, because, you know, when you go to Milano, you want to spend money. So now let me see. I also received gift patterns on Ravelry for my birthday, and one as a feel better pattern. And I got a cardigan pattern from Grace, a hat pattern from Melanie, and a shawl pattern from Julie. And the shawl pattern that I received from Julie is actually one that needs 3 skeins of yarn. So that's why I'm not sure yet if I want to use the 3 skeins for a cardigan or for that shawl. I'm not sure. I have to think about that. So thank you so, so much. It's absolutely not something that I was expecting, and it was just amazing. So yeah, thank you. Okay, now, indie of the week. No indie of the week. I have not worked with European indie stuff this week. Reading, listening, watching. I actually have stuff. I am rewatching Buffy. And it's not called Buffy the Vampire Slayer in Germany. It's called Buffy im Bann der Dämonen. And I don't actually know what im Bann means, but it's something about demons. So I still love it. I know, of course, I watched it in English. So I am almost done with season 1. I'm going to rewatch the whole thing because I love Buffy. Buffy is awesome. I also finally finished the book I was reading, The Hollywood Headlines. It's called Hollywood Gossip in German. Yeah, I know, right? Hollywood Gossip in German and Hollywood Headlines in English. It's, I think, by Gemma Halliday. I still dislike the main protagonist a lot. I finished the book. It did not turn out to be what I had expected, although one of the things in the climax I was like, what if? And it was like that. So it was quite nice. And then when I finished it yesterday night, I thought about reading the second book because, you know, I have it. It's light reading. And the author did something I absolutely hate for a series. There's a different main protagonist, which I don't care if it's written in the third person, like she walked over there, but it's written in the first person. So it's like I walked over there. And having a series from the first person perspective with two different main persons, that's just, I don't like it. So I'm not going to read that second book. It's not for me, and I'm not gonna bother. So I'm still not done. And I need another sip of coffee. I'm sorry. I know there are people who hate it when people drink on their podcast, but if you talk to yourself for 35 minutes nonstop, you need to have something to make it easier. So, sewing. I have a bunch. I have to make a little bit of room over here. Okay, now I made a sweater for myself. I did cut that sweater, I would say last year, sometime in March. And since then, I learned a lot about everything that has to do with sewing clothes. And it was so badly cut. Oh my God. Yeah, it was awful. But I managed to make a sweater in the end. It needs to be washed because, of course, I cut it on the fold last year in March and I just sewed it. So it has a crease down the middle in the front and the back. It looks like this. I did show a picture on Instagram. I am really happy with how it turned out. I love the fabric. The fabric is a viscose wool jersey. Super thin, super light. Yeah. The pattern is from a Buddha magazine, and it's the magazine August 2015. And I think the model or the pattern itself is number 115. I did change a few things. I put in an elastic at the neckband because it was too wide. I think it was supposed to be a sweater that slides off one shoulder, and that's just not my style. So I put in an elastic and it turned out amazing. I also put in elastic in the sleeve bands. So, the sleeves are quite wide. And if I just stand there and let them hang, they go to my wrist. And if I want to pull them up, they would never have stayed up because they're just too wide. So now I have put in an elastic, and if I put them up or, push them up, they will stay where they should be. So yeah, that's the sweater. I sewed it together on the overlocker. All of the seams are done with the serger, overlocker, whatever you want to call it. And then I went over with a twin needle from the front, not sure if you can see, and had one needle be in the main fabric and one in the ditch. So I finished off all the seams like that. And yeah, like I said, I'm super happy with it. I like the pattern. It's super simple, of course, because I talked about this before. I'm sticking to simple things until I'm good enough to make more complicated stuff. Yeah, that's for me. It's finished. I love it. Then I made 2 sweaters for my son. I used the same pattern for those 2 like I used last time. It's from a German book by, I don't know her real name, but she goes by Klimperklein on the internet, and she has a book for children. And yeah, so that's the first one. Sweater number 1 and sweater number 2. This fabric, it's the 3rd incarnation of it. My friend, the Stitchionista, has made a beautiful dress for herself with this fabric. She had tons left over, and she gave those leftovers to me. I used it for an insert of a sweater that I made for myself sometime last year. Now I made a sweater for Tim, and I still have leftovers. So yeah, that was a lot of fabric, but I love it. It's super cute on him. Then I made a dress for myself. I was in a sit on a serger and just make things that are super quick to make. Mood. I was in a mood to do that, so I did. And I wanted to make this dress for a while. And I made it when my son was in Kita and my husband and one of our best friends went skiing. They came home and I had finished my sweater, the sweaters for Tim, and the dress in the time they were gone. So I showed it to them. And my husband's best friend, who's one of our best men, he said, you know, the sweater you made for yourself is awesome. The sweaters for Tim are awesome, but that dress kind of looks a 70s wallpaper turned nightgown. So yeah, he's very, very honest, and he's very right. This is the dress I made. It's, like I said, super simple. It's a front, a back, 2 sleeves. You put it together, do the hems, and you're done. The pattern is called Toni. It's by Milchmonster, another German indie pattern maker. And it's the same pattern that I used for my skull dress that I made last year. And I really like it, you know, but he's just right. It's not nice. It looks awful. The pattern on the fabric and everything, it just, yeah. It's gonna be a around the house dress for summer. But you know, you need those too. So, oh well. We cannot win with everything we make, right? So I like it. It's just not something I'm gonna wear outside my house, I think, because it's no. There's just too much patterning on that fabric for my liking. So yeah, that's that. But then yesterday, I finally finished the boxer shorts for my husband. I showed these before, and I said, I'm probably not going to show them again, but guess what? I'm going to show them again because I love how they turned out. What I did yesterday, I attached the band on top. I don't know what it's called. Waist. It's not a waistband. It's not a, I don't know. I attached this. I decided to go with black for all of them to make it easier. And I did the twin needle thing around the legs. So that's the first one. That's the front and the back. And I did get questions about, ooh, is your husband really going to wear those? Because they're kind of childish. And I said, yeah. And I asked my husband, said, you know, are you really going to wear these? Because I got some comments because they are not super manly. And he said, you know, it's underwear. No one except you is ever going to see it. So if you don't care, I don't care. And I don't care. I think they are fun, and it's way more fun than, you know, black or dark blue. So that's the second one. And it's a perfect way to use up scraps. So who cares? And according to him, these are extremely comfortable. So that's the third. That's one that I screwed up something. But it turned out good in the end, so I don't care. And the fourth is the King Kong fabric. I adore. I love this fabric. I have some more, but it's not enough for anything really. Ooh, okay. I have to go over here with a little bit of hand stitching. I just noticed that I didn't catch the band here. Can you see? Have to do that by hand. So that's the last one. They are done. I am sure I will make more of these because, like I said, he really loves it. Though I made him one so far, and it's in the laundry all the time. And he has, you know, tons of underwear he could wear, but he always reaches for this one. So he will get 5 more for Valentine's Day. I decided to give them to him for Valentine's because why not? And the pattern I used for those, let's show this one again. The pattern for these is called Valentino, and it's by another German indie pattern maker called Elsterglück. I bought the pattern on Lavanda. I think it was like €6, and it's amazing. I made his size, you know, or the one I thought would be okay, and it's perfect. It fits perfect, and like I said, he loves it. So if you have a husband who's not like about things that you make for him, you could always make these in only black, you know, if you want to. You could try those because they are super comfy, and yeah, it's something else and something everyone needs to wear, should wear on a daily basis. I should stop talking. Okay. I don't have cross stitch. Of course not, because I'm not in a cross stitching mood and I haven't been in months. So let's just ignore this. For everything else, I have a few things. There is the combo spin Sal Cal going on that I am co-hosting with Debbie and the spin-off group on Ravelry. There's a thread in my group and it's exploding with things, and I love it. I just love it. It's amazing to see how many people are willing to try my way of combining single braids for a sweater quantity. And if you are interested but not so sure, you should go check that thread out, because there are a ton of people in there who are showing their braids and how they divided it, and bobbin shots and finished skeins, and it's just amazing. So please, please, please go over there. The Sal Cal is still going. Oh, there's something on the screen. Go away. The Sal Cal is still going until the 31st of March. So there's 2 more months left. And I will have a price in the end, of course. Or maybe even 2. Let's see. So please go over, check it out. There's also a hashtag on Instagram, and that's hashtag combo spin Sal Cal in one word. So, and now I have prizes. I have a ton of prizes to give away. Like 3, but you know. I finally drew a winner, a grand prize winner for the 16 pairs in 2016. I wanted to draw a winner in the first podcast of January, and I didn't, so I'm going to do it in the last one. I had written down on top of the thread everyone who had finished and gave them a number. You know, the first finisher was number 1, and so on and so forth. We ended up with 21 finishers for the 16 pair challenge, and I did draw a winner, and the number that I drew was number 17, and that is RJ Hugs, who's Rebecca, and Rebecca was actually number 17, was her second entry, because she had finished 32 pairs by then. So I'm super excited that you won, because I think you're the one with the most finished pairs. And I do have a grand prize, and it is a skein of yarn by Zauberwiese. It's a German indie dyer. The colorway name is Kinderlachen, and it was a charity skein. So she gave all the proceeds to a children's thing. No, €2 she gave. But still, it's for a children's charity. So I got 2 skeins when I got it, and this will be going to you after you contact me. And I'm gonna put in another thing, and that is a project bag. It's a pyramid style project bag that it's very creased because it was laying folded. It's made by a friend of mine. She sells those, and I'm gonna put that in as well. So this is the grand prize for the 16 and 2016 knit along. So Rebecca, contact me. You won, and I'm very excited about it. So this will be going to you. And then I drew a winner for the Use Your Books Cal. And I have to say, there is some chatter in the FO threads, and I really would love it to have the chatter in the combined chatter thread. That's why I opened it up and have only finished objects in those threads, because it makes it easier for me. That's the only reason. And I decided that if there is chatter, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to leave it where it is. But when I draw for a price and I end up on a chatter entry, I'm going to redraw until I get to a entry with a finished object. Seems fair, right? So that's how it's going to be. So for the Use Your Books Cal, I am going to give away 1 pattern up to $8 of your choice on Ravelry. And the winner for that is number 21, and her she does not give a first name, which makes it a bit harder for me, because her Ravelry name is like not a word. and I have to spell, and I'm really bad at spelling in English. I think it's sweater girl, but you know, there are some letters missing. So number 21 in the Use Your Books Cal, your Ravelry name is SWTRGRL. No first name given. So please, if that is you, I'm not gonna repeat that. If that is you, please contact me and let me know what pattern you want, and I'm gonna give that to you. So I also drew a winner for the Passionate Spin Along because, you know, I said I'm gonna draw a winner for the Passionate Spin Along in 1 month and Use Your Hand Spin Knit Along in the next month. So I decided to start with the Passionate Spin Along. And the winner for that is entry number 6. That's Kai Lin, and her name is Linda. So Linda, and I really have to say this again. If you're Linda and you enter in one of my giveaways, you're most likely to win because every second name I draw is a Linda, and it's different Lindas. So Linda, this is gonna come your way as soon as you contact me and let me know your address. It's a German indie dyer called Ätherische Öle. She is one of my favorites. And this is a braid of blue face luster, which is my absolute favorite fiber to spin. So this is a treat. So number 6, Kai Lin, Linda, this is yours. Please contact me so I can get it in the mail to you. And that's it for this week. I have to put this back in here because Gizmo likes to cuddle with fiber and I don't want you to have his hair on there. Now, that's it for this week. It's a lot of stuff. I'm very sorry. It's almost an hour, which is Tracy overkill in my opinion, but yeah, it's what it is. I'm gonna let you guys go. I will hopefully sometime this week make my January favorites video. And I think that's it. I hope you enjoy everything you do. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.